Hello, I'm Lauren Taylor. Israeli security forces have rescued 4 hostages from 2 separate locations in Nuseirat in central Gaza. They've been named as Noa Argamani, Almog Merjan, Shlomi Ziv and Andrei Kozlov. All had been abducted by Hamas from the Nova Music Festival on October the 7th. Well, here's the moment Noa Argamani was reunited with her father while being transferred. She's also spoken on the phone to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Well, you may remember seeing footage of Noa being abducted into Gaza on the back of a motorbike, shouting, "Don't kill me," after being kidnapped with her boyfriend from the music festival. Her boyfriend, Avinatari Or, is thought to be still in captivity in Gaza. Well, this was Shlomi Ziv and his wife speaking for the first time in 8 months. In the past hour, Israel has posted this video on social media of 3 of the hostages being escorted by soldiers to a helicopter in Gaza, which then takes off bound for Israel. And this was the moment when some of the hostages arrived in a helicopter at a hospital in Tel Aviv. All 4 of the released hostages are said to be in good medical condition. The Israeli security forces said the operation was long planned and conducted under heavy fire, in which one special forces officer was killed. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has spoken after visiting the hostages in hospital.
Israel just carried out a remarkable rescue operation of 4 hostages held by Hamas. This operation required ingenuity and courage of the highest degree, and our soldiers performed in an unmatchable way. We're committed to getting the release of all the hostages, and we expect Hamas to release them all. But if they don't, we'll do whatever it takes to get them all back home. Hamas is committing war crimes every day, including the holding of these hostages. Our soldiers are performing in the most valiant and moral way to end this war with a victory against these killers and against these kidnappers, and we shall prevail. Thank you.
An Israeli police inspector died of wounds sustained during the raid. Hamas said more than 210 Palestinians were killed in Nuseirat and surrounding areas. Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner from the Israeli Defense Forces spoke to us from Tel Aviv.
Of course, there's a very challenging reality because it's both on the ground, deeply within the civilian population of Nuseirat, intentionally within civilian homes, and this is what Hamas has done. We've heard these reports and testimonies from hostages that had been formally released at the end of November, that they were being held in civilian homes, and it was the same this morning what we found in the operation as it was successful. Indeed, they were being held in civilian homes. We were able to reach there with our special forces, a combined force that was able to engage and extract safely the hostages that were being held. They came under fire, extensive fire. We have an officer that was wounded, injured critically in the extraction, and is currently in hospital.
Now, we heard our correspondent there say that doctors in the area had said that at least 50 people appeared to have been killed as a result of this operation. We've heard from a separate figure from Hamas, which I know you'll question, of 93 Palestinians killed in those strikes as part of this. What's your feeling about the level of casualties that civilians are taking in order to rescue 4 hostages?
Every civilian life lost in this war is a deep tragedy. It's a tragedy, nevertheless, that Hamas are responsible because they initiated this war on the October 7th attack, and they intentionally positioned all of their assets, including our hostages, within the civilian population. So when we mobilize in a war zone, where Hamas has fortified their positions within houses, hospitals and schools, when they're firing from places like that, and we are responding, then there is a challenge for every military force. We need to operate, we need to bring home the hostages. We would much rather the hostages be released without us needing to operate, but unfortunately Hamas have not and are not releasing the hostages, and they are continuing to emotionally extort the tension from Israel and Israeli society. And our responsibility as the military to seek out the intelligence, find the operational opportunity, and conduct the operations to bring the hostages home.
IDF spokesperson Peter Lerner, and since he spoke to us, the Israeli security forces have confirmed that the officer critically injured in the operation that Peter Lerner referred to has now died. And in the past hour, a doctor at Sheba Hospital in Tel Aviv has been speaking about the hostages' arrival there.
I'm happy to report that 4 captives were returned and arrived safely to the Sheba Medical Center. Shlomi Ziv, Almog Meir-Jan, Andrei Kozlov, and of course Noah Argamani, that have been in captivity for 246 days.